down, so straight away, this is where we can expect GE Pantheon to get a very early lead, and to no one's surprise, yep, that's it, the Widowmaker's out.
Shot Horror. We'll have to see how he chooses to play here. Ooh, nearly got some shots on Unknown. Unknown's going to take a while to get healed up here. Oh man, finds on the headshot as he's in the rotation.
He is going to get healed up, but it's going to be from respawning.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
As the thing, to not have him healed up on that approach is really rough. New Paradigm just have a straight numbers disadvantage, and also a lot less defense against the Widowmaker now without that bubble. Frost already picked off with the brawl on the point. They lack a lot of extra damage output as well without the Zarya. That's a pretty easy fight win from GE Pantheon.
The other thing is, as soon as Kephrii actually gets a pick, he evens out the disadvantage of playing something like a Widow straight away. When you consider GOATs as a 6v6 kind of thing, when you have a Widowmaker, it's 5 GOATs members versus 6 GOATs members on the other side. Once you get that pick, it's suddenly 5 GOATs members plus a Widowmaker versus the other 5 on the other side. Your Paradigm are not even running the conversion, and Unknown straight away, again, right back to base.
And I think this is actually one of the best things they can be picking at the start of these fights. Like we said, the lack of defense from the barriers, it opens up more damage from Kephrii, the lack of extra damage output from Unknown as well on the Zarya, who is one of the more high damage members of a GOAT's composition. Twice in a row, this has been so huge.
So here's the thing, you do want to run the Rhine in a lot of cases because the shield is big, but on this map, because the high ground is so intense for a Widowmaker, you can just peek over the shield directly.
You ready for him to get another one on Unknown? Be a bit nuts. Not quite going to happen here, but the Earth Shadow's going to connect now. Unknown on his back. Tato's looking to be out of the mech here in a few moments if he's not too careful. What is the first casualty? Trade back though with Eind, and gets the rally off the table, the grab out as well, and these members of New Paradigm, and they all just fall down. After what was otherwise an okay start, having weathered most of the storm, they still actually don't find the kills to back it up.
So here's a Widowmaker factor here again, just kind of magnified a little bit, but when you consider ultimates being in play, New Paradigm do actually have an ultimate advantage, but for Global Esports Pantheon, because there is a Widowmaker, if you can get a headshot, if you can get a kill, the ults don't really count. If you have a Zenyatta with the Transcendence and he dies straight away, that's no more Transcendence.
And now New Paradigm, we still haven't actually found really much of an entry into this
armor
point.
Helps.
And Hyok's got another Earth Shatter just about up as well. That's going to be so huge. It's kind of lapped Frost in that regard. There it comes out. Huge one as well. Kephrii already found a headshot on Froppy as that was coming down. And this is going to be potentially another gong coming out here. Actually just hit the weight out the Transcendence from Ref, but it's going to be the last thing used on the point. It's not quite a gong, but New Paradigm are back at base as the overtime ticks down. I don't even think Frost will get here in time. Kephrii even fighting a headshot just because he's Kephrii. That's going to be a clean 100-0.
Froppy nearly touched the play. I mean, I can't confirm that, but Froppy looked like he was maybe going for that point, just trying to extend the overtime. Kephrii's like, no, straight headshot, get out of here. And that's a very easy 100-0, but we expected Downtown to be the one that was going to very much favor Global Esports Pantheon. Well, the other thing we're considering here as well, there we go, it is going to be the mage change. We did say Mecha Base was going to be very, very hard for a Widowmaker to be played on, and that is the adaptation we're seeing now. And what the May can do here is actually split up the Rhine offense coming up from New Paradigm, which is going to be a decent adaptation.
I do like this Flex. It continues playing to Kephrii's strength while also giving them opportunities to actually deal with a GOAT's comp.
There we go, add that one to the hero pool for Kephrii, the official. I mean, it's being played in official, so it counts, I guess. And the opening skirmish is going to be very important. Note that there's no choke hold here coming out from both teams.
Oh, nearly got an isolation there, nearly got Ref as well, but just not quite, so it's still a 6v6 scrap. And actually with that, New Paradigm should slowly start muscling out GE Pantheon. They recognize that and start backing off.
You have to see from GE Pantheon as well, they're looking for opportunities. It's a second wall that's not going to do too much. New Paradigm moving the fight onto the low ground at the open area is actually quite smart. The wall is not going to be nearly as effective here.
And they also really need to find a pick. That's the other major thing. They're relying on maybe the right click from Kephrii or
the wall's not that good.
Yeah, it's just, they do get a decent wraparound on Frost, but they don't quite finish him off. Now in the thick of the fight, the Maid has other things that can come to the table. Nice catch on Froppy actually, and straight it down, finally killing Frost. This is where New Paradigm is starting to get the runaround on them. It's GE Pantheon, as in get runarounds. That was a weird turn of phrase. Potato out of the mech now. That's going to be a pretty clean fight from GE Pantheon when they were finally able to commit to it.
When we start to look at the ults as well, Kephrii's actually one of the first members, that's a T-Bay, that actually gets an ultimate. Blizzard up and ready to go for the next fight. The good news here now for GE Pantheon, because they did actually win that, despite being down in progression, is they have choke control. So if they scout out when New Paradigm's coming through, this is where the main wall is super strong.
It is slightly harder for them to scout out, though, just because they don't have the D.Va. They're very reliant on Medic to do most of their
That's
scouting.
a good wall.
That's a decent wall. They've been able to split off and kill Ref and Eind. That's kind of all the damage done already. Blizzard might not have been necessary, actually. New Paradigm were already backing off, but GE Pantheon is still going to be able to press an advantage here. Great wall. Just stop the retreat from finalizing, and they're actually going to be able to pick off two more tanks plus Froppy for their trouble.
That is maximum stagger there as well, just to make sure that as players were respawning, more players were going down. It was an A+ on the aim, A+ on the wall. Unfortunately, a little bit of a C on that Blizzard. Was a wasted ultimate, but here we go, another aggression move.
Yeah, great wall. Froppy, you see, was unable to get over the top initially, but he finally does get through. He's straight into a grab. He's already dead for his trouble. And again, New Paradigm struggling to fight their way out of the situation. Honestly, Global Esports, they're executing this team composition near flawlessly.
And you know, this is what you can do with the mate once you start to get ahead. The problem is, if you are behind, it gets very difficult. You do not want to be fighting open spaces. Because Mecha Base is quite narrow and tight, you want to be playing the chokes, you want to be playing the corridors, and that's exactly what Global Esports Pantheon are doing, except Paradigm have out-rotated them this time around.
And this is, like I said, the disadvantage of not having the D.Va. It's a bit harder to scout. It's actually still a decent wall. New Paradigm have to pull back for a moment, regroup. Nearly got the back cap in there. Earthshatter a bit rough. The response one from Frost a little bit better, but the sound barrier keeps members safe. Now the grab out. There is no transcendence from back wall. Inhyok finally goes down, and it's going to be water getting picked as well. Ref does die in the midst of all this, but Kephree's looking like he's going to be in trouble as soon as he comes out of that ice cube. Might even go bumped off the edge in an environmental. Indeed, that will be how he meets his maker. Now New Paradigm getting the cap back under their control. This is where it gets hard again for GE Pantheon.
This is where the ults really start to come into effect. Sakura does have a grab, Kephrii does have a blizzard. You can combo both those ultimates together, but you need to make sure you have your eyes on Teto because he can use the defensive matrix to deny both of those ultimates. For GE Pantheon, a great wall can get them in, and then they need to land the combo together.
That's a nice wall, actually, to sort of play around with the grab a little bit.
Frost is frozen.
They don't really get much for it aside from Frost, but that's enough to open things out. Without that shield there, Ref so vulnerable, taking so much pain here. Might go down before he has a Transcendence available. Unknown getting picked thanks to being frozen up. Teto does trade one back. There's that Transcendence from Ref at long last, but it's a little late, unfortunately. A lot of members already dead, and now Eind on the cusp of getting frozen up. Nice Earthshatter on the backside from Frost, but he's bumped down now. And Global Esports Pantheon still in a decent position, even with losing water. They've maintained a bit of a numbers advantage. Kephrii going down, though. Inhyok still in the fight, though, and he might just out-frag at this rate. This is still potentially anyone's fight now as that sound barrier comes in from Froppy. Suddenly, New Paradigm going to turn the tides a bit, now at 90%.
And by the way, they held control of the point the entire time as well. Even when GE Pantheon started to get control back, they were starting to win, they never actually capped out. We're about to head into overtime, and GE Pantheon are fresh out of ults. Sakura's coming up to grab.
That's going to be the only thing they've got to rely on, but he's already dead. Nice execution from New Paradigm. We said that Mecha Base was going to be a potential sore point for Global Esports Pantheon, and even then actually things looked really well. They had a team comp, it was working, but the moment New Paradigm got them into the position where it stopped working, it never got going again.
And that's the thing, GE Pantheon got all the way up to 92% in terms of a lead. For New Paradigm, as soon as they started coming back, they were able to out-rotate Global Esports Pantheon. If they got stuck in their base, it would have been all over. This would have been very easy. But because they couldn't spot them out, New Paradigm were able to sneak through the bottom side, get themselves to the point. That is where May is weak, and they knew that. Once they had Global Esports Pantheon on the back foot, it just seemed like it was a bit too hard for GE Pantheon to get back in. However, on this map, though, Sanctuary, Kephrii back onto the Widow.
Yeah.
This is a decent Widow position. Water's on the fire here as well. Inhyok on the Hammond. This is a counter Ryan Goats, and they know how to play this comp. In fact, they were the ones to debut this in the Pacific region.
Yeah, it's worked really well for them in the past. That's the good news. Mecha Base is but one map, so now GE Pantheon, tired as they are 1-for-1, can come into somewhere a little bit more comfortable. Kephrii maintaining some decent sight lines. The moment New Paradigm start to poke their heads out of here, they are under the line of fire.
And the point unlocks in 4 seconds, which means New Paradigm need to go, and they need to go soon. Water's nearly onto ult.
Very quick reaction. Look at that, taking huge damage as they barrel towards the point. Teto gets a little bit cut off, just enough to be demeked. New Paradigm got the point cap in that, but there's the Rocket Barrage. First onto Teto, then onto Frost, does go down, but Kephrii finds a headshot of Ref in among the chaos, and that's going to be GE Pantheon handily actually winning the opening skirmish in spite of New Paradigm sneaking the cap through in that time.
And even with water going down, he gets Rez back into it. Kephrii now has the infra site available as well. Perfect timing as New Paradigm about to respawn and reapproach this push. Kephrii now can sight everything for his own team, and you even see it, the combinations. If Inhyuk on the Hammond knocks up a bunch of guys, Kephrii can get very easy headshots. Water the concussive blast as well. There's actually a lot of CC against the Scotes comp. New Paradigm now swapping to 2 DPSs, Frost on a Winston.
This is a really nice angle around the side for Water as well. Again, it's just forcing New Paradigm to rotate in one specific direction. It means Kephrii can set up for the right sightline for it. It makes the approach so dangerous for New Paradigm.
The thing is, there's no Brigida for Global Esports, so Iron should be able to get a really good flank of the Kephrii.
Oh, and Ref actually finds Water. Kephrii does catch Unknown, though, with a headshot, so bit of damage already being done. Iron just kind of got a solo carry here. He's got to be able to deal with Kephrii, plus these healers.
No, he doesn't.
Doesn't get it. Kefrii's 2 for 2 on killing DPSs now. Really making up for Water going down earlier. Even finds Froppy to boot. Ref is in trouble. It's actually going to be Inhyuk who gets the finish off on that one. Tato's still going to get popped out of the mech. Kephrii doesn't quite get that headshot.
He doesn't want to go for it. You do want to stagger up the Baby D,
Exactly.
that was a purposeful miss. In fact, he didn't even take the shot. Here's the thing you have to consider though. Iron was chasing Kephrii for the majority of that previous fight. As soon as Iron decided to swap targets onto Backwall, who is an easier target to dive on, Kephrii's got his number. He instantly snipes him down.
Oh, and now again, I'm going dead onto Kephrii along with Unknown. But even with the two of them, they're not able to find it. The defense is there from GE Pantheon. And now with the infra site, so much harder for either of those two flankers to approach Kephrii.
Now, this is just more percentage points that Global Esports can tick up. They're going to get over 80% here. Likely New Paradigm have to wait till nearly 90 before they can actually push. And that's just more and more advantage that Global Esports can have. Look at Kephrii's positioning, just constantly going the opposite direction.
And then, I mean, look at how many ultimates New Paradigm are just going to have to commit to stay in the fight. They still don't even have an EMP. They don't have those big fight winners yet. Ref's already down. Good catch, though, to get the DPSs out of the picture. Inhyuk and Sakura have a lot of work to do, and that's with the minefield having already been committed. Now Inhyuk going down. This is finally New Paradigm actually just straight out fragging as well.
Here we go. Kephrii's actually coming back on a Sombra, which is really nice. He can get back very quickly. Global Esports, if they win this fight, they can get this map.
Iron's keeping the pressure on, though. Sakura hasn't actually died. Might not be able to get back in the mech, though. Froppy's going to make sure of that. Water comes in with a barrage, though. Finds 2, and Kephrii finds Froppy as well. Cat went over, but New Paradigm instantly lose that position. Even with Water getting fragged out of the sky, Kephrii's still in the mix here. Backwall's got a transcendence if necessary. Point went back over to GE Pantheon.
That one is going to be a cleanup now. GE Pantheon, they were pushed, they were challenged, which was not an easy win on Busan.